We have a major update. According to Fred Katz, an NBA insider, he notes that the New York Knicks are currently taking offers for Quentin Grimes. This may mean that a major trade might be upcoming very soon. We're going to break down this massive report and so much more today. So be sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The New York Knicks could apparently be looking to trade Quentin Grimes. Now, we've known for the last few weeks that the Knicks have been active on the trade market, looking to add another player to this roster. They've been linked to a number of different names, role players, top-tier players, and stars, but they haven't made another move yet since the OG Anunoby trade. But a lot of people around the league expect the Knicks to make another major trade. And now it seems that major trade might involve Quentin Grimes. There's a lot of parts to this report. Stay with me here. I'm going to break it all down for you. According to Fred Katz of The Athletic, he notes that the Knicks are actively fielding offers for Quentin Grimes, according to rival executives who've been in contact with them, and they're hoping to land a facilitating help behind Jalen Brunson. NBA Central on the app X goes into the report further by stating the following. The Knicks are coming to a crossroads with Grimes, who is eligible after this season for an extension off his rookie scale contract. The same type of deal that Quickley could have received but did not in 2023. Of course, New York flipped Quickley to Toronto. We're going to get into more of this report in a second, but this is a massive update here from Fred Katz of The Athletic. If the Knicks are truly looking for different offers for Quentin Grimes right now, and they're actually fielding offers, they're open to trading Quentin Grimes, then that absolutely means that the DeJounte Murray deal is again on the table. It's not like it was ever off the table, but a lot of reports were signaling that the Lakers, the Sixers, those particular teams had a better chance than the Knicks to land DeJounte Murray. But as you can see here, if Quentin Grimes is eligible to be included in any particular trade for the New York Knicks to land the facilitating type of player right behind Jalen Brunson, which is exactly the type of player, according to Fred Katz, the Knicks are looking to land, then in my opinion, Quentin Grimes will be on the table and included in a deal if DeJounte Murray comes to the New York Knicks. It's likely going to be Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, 2 first-round picks, and then the Knicks are likely going to get DeJounte Murray, AJ Griffin, and maybe another player. I can't think of who right now, but it's likely that player might fit into the New York Knicks trade exceptions that they have available to them. So there's a lot of routes the New York Knicks could go here. But this news that the Knicks are actually fielding offers for Quentin Grimes, we all thought it was a possibility. We all thought it could happen. But now we have it confirmed by a lot of different NBA executives around the league and an NBA insider in Fred Katz, who has been covering the New York Knicks for the last few seasons. If he's saying it, I'm absolutely believing it. Now comes into the question, who the Knicks are going to trade Quentin Grimes for? Is it going to be for a star level player or is it going to be for a role player? That's going to be the biggest question the New York Knicks have to answer as we move forward through this trade season. But it's going to be a very interesting time as we now know that Quentin Grimes is available, Evan Fournier is available, and clearly the Knicks have a boatload of first-round picks that they can make available should a star player that they like become available. Let's go into more of the Fred Katz report here on this Quentin Grimes situation. According to Katz, he notes that the Knicks are targeting an extra ball handler, somebody who can help hold up the offense when Brunson is on the bench or even play alongside him. Thibodeau said following Monday's game that Brunson remains day-to-day with a calf injury. And Steph Bondy of the New York Post reported that opposing teams are keeping an eye on Grimes, who again still hasn't recovered his minutes or production from last season. Clearly, different teams are monitoring the Knicks, their moves, and specifically Quentin Grimes. But not only that, Fred Katz mentioned that the Knicks are looking for another ball handler right behind Jalen Brunson, somebody who can help stabilize the offense. Exactly what we've been saying on this channel for the last few weeks. By the way, that sounds like DeJounte Murray. It definitely sounds like him if you're thinking about star player and if you're thinking about ball handler, somebody who can pass, somebody who can help facilitate. Oh yeah, and somebody who can help score when Jalen Brunson is in the game or not in the game. And that's exactly what you need. Because let's say we have different games in the future where Jalen Brunson can't play, or he's injured, or for some reason he just can't suit up that night. We're going to need another player to step in and help facilitate and help step into that role that Jalen Brunson is leaving, because he leaves a void when he's not playing for the New York Knicks. DeJounte Murray can step up and answer the call, answer that bell, because he's done so with the Hawks, he's done so with the Spurs when he was with them, and he can do it for the New York Knicks. And it's been reported that if Murray is traded, he prefers to be traded to a contender. Let me say this: if the Knicks trade for Murray, and all they have to give up is Grimes, Fournier, and a couple of first-round picks that might be protected, I'm doing that deal. I'm getting Murray on this team. And if that happens, Murray joining this team turns this Knicks team into a contender. Because if DeJounte Murray comes to this Knicks team, and that's the package that goes out to get him, this team is a contender in the NBA. And they're going to have one of the best defensive units, especially one of the best starting defensive units in the entire NBA. I would love to see another starting five deal with that Knicks team, because it's going to be very difficult on both ends of the floor when you're dealing with that Knicks team. And the Knicks are looking like they're trying to create that. Maybe it's not going to be DeJounte. Maybe it's another star down the road. But clearly, they're making moves for now and the future. Fred Katz continues in his article here by stating the Knicks hold preferences beyond player type too. They are also seeking specific types of contracts. According to Katz, the long-term plan for the Knicks remains to add a star to the core that's already present. But the organization still does not expect that star, whoever he may be, to become available until this summer at the earliest. New York has been unwilling to part with unprotected first-round picks in trades, according to league sources. That's great news in my opinion, because if you're the Knicks, I want to give up all of my protected picks first. Once I do that, then maybe I'll move on to unprotected picks. But as of right now, if you're looking at the trade market and you're looking at the players available, there is no player available that you'll want to go ahead and give up an unprotected first-round pick for. Maybe you can make the argument that DeJounte Murray could go for one unprotected first-round pick and a couple of other protected picks. But at least right now, according to the Knicks, they are not entertaining that. They do not want to give up any of their unprotected picks. They only want to give up their protected picks. And that speaks volumes, because Knicks regimes of the past would have absolutely given up first-round picks already to facilitate a DeJounte Murray trade to the Knicks. But this front office under Leon Rose is not doing that. Their theme under Leon Rose has been patient, and they're going to continue to be patient and see what the Hawks end up giving up in order to move DeJounte Murray to another team. And that's why I think the Knicks are being patient, because they know they don't have to make a move for DeJounte or any player right now. They made a move for OG Anunoby, and since that trade, they're winning more than they're losing. So they can afford to wait, look around the league, and see what players lose value as the weeks go by. And depending what players lose value and what their value is, let's say in February, that might determine who the Knicks go after. It could be a Brogdon, it could be a Burks, or hopefully, I'm praying, it could be DeJounte Murray. Because in my opinion, that fits exactly what the Knicks need. You need another ball handler? Check. You need a star? Check. You need somebody in terms of a player that can match Evan Fournier's salary? Check. DeJounte Murray checks all of those boxes. He'll help the New York Knicks now and in the future. And if the Knicks can help his value get up, if the Knicks can make him a better player under Tom Thibodeau, which I think he can become that, because his defense, which is okay right now, under Tom Thibodeau, it's going to get to another great place again. It might go back to the place it was under Popovich, because in that level, if you guys remember then, he was a great defender when he was playing for the Spurs. I think if he played for Tom Thibodeau, he would go back to those defensive ways. He would get better. And let's say the Knicks want to flip him in the future for a star or a superstar player, they might be able to do so with having to give up less picks, because they were able to get his value all the way back up. There are a lot of benefits to the Knicks making this trade. If not for Murray, then for Brogdon or for Burks, DeLon Wright, Killian Hayes. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, in particular guards that have been linked to the Knicks. And the reason I'm mentioning guards at this point versus other players is because, again, according to Fred Katz, the Knicks are looking to add another ball handler, another facilitator, another guard to pair in the backcourt with Jalen Brunson, or at least have Jalen Brunson rest a little bit longer when you take him out of games. Put somebody else in for Jalen Brunson who can help stabilize the offense so you don't have to run one or two starters out there with the reserves just so you can have a hope of winning that game. Because that's what the New York Knicks have been doing over their last few games. And it's not sustainable. You can't keep doing that. And obviously, you can't keep doing that if you're looking to be a very good playoff team. Because once you get to the playoffs, if you continue to do this, you're going to run your players into the ground. And we cannot afford to do that this year. Fred Katz continues by stating, the organization hopes to save up these picks for that anonymous star. But a trade such as last year's for Josh Hart, where the Knicks sent out a protected first rounder along with a matching salary, is on the table, at least according to league sources. Fred Katz continues in his article by stating the preference for the Knicks is not to flip Grimes for a player the Knicks could lose in free agency this upcoming summer. So you're telling me the Knicks are looking for a guard. You're telling me the Knicks are looking to flip Quentin Grimes, their former shooting guard, their shooting guard off the bench. You're telling me that the New York Knicks prefer somebody who has a longer term contract. So that way, potentially, they can build up that player's value and trade them later on down the road in a major trade for a star or superstar that they've always coveted. That sounds potentially like maybe DeJounte Murray. Now you can make the argument it also sounds like Malcolm Brogdon. Either way, it sounds like a top tier player that the Knicks can either start or come off of their bench that can help the Knicks win now, win in the playoffs, and win later. But let me tell you one thing. Quentin Grimes right now, I know where his value is. It's not great. But if we talk about defense, he's still one of the better defenders at his position. So with that in mind, if we're trading Grimes, I don't want to have to include so many first round picks, number one. And number two, I want to make sure that when we trade Grimes away, we're getting somebody else in that trade package with either a DeJounte Murray or a Malcolm Brogdon that we can also bring off the bench that can help with spacing and shooting, because we're going to need that even more if we trade Quentin Grimes. So we got to remember that and be smart when we're making these deals with teams. It can't just be Murray if Grimes is involved in that deal. It has to be another player. Some of you guys are going to hate this news. Some of you guys are going to love this news. Personally, for me, I am absolutely in favor of this. I love this news because, again, I've been saying for weeks, the Knicks need to make another move after OG. It cannot just be OG. We're not done. And the Knicks know that. And clearly they know that because they're taking offers for Quentin Grimes. Grimes, Fournier, picks. That's going to be the offer for another player. Who that player is, I don't know. Clearly, I want it to be Murray, but it could be Brogdon. It could be another player as well, too. But I do not want Grimes and Fournier and all of these picks to go out for a role player, because that would absolutely upset me. That would not be the right move. But if you utilize all of those players and picks to get a star or a very, very top tier role player on this team, then maybe I'll think otherwise about it. It's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to see what Leon Rose and the Knicks do. And honestly, guys, it's going to be an extremely fun trade season as we continue to move into the trade deadline over the next few weeks. February 8th. Mark that on your calendars, because before that deadline date, things are going to go wild. I can't wait to see what happens. But what about you guys? What do you think about this report that the New York Knicks could potentially be trading Quentin Grimes? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.